Hey guys, welcome to part 4. If you haven't seen 1, 2, or 3, go down to my channel and it should be down below, but let me get back into it. So basically, I was outside smoking that night, and so I saw that, it wasn't sticking, it was whatever. So I went up to him when I came back out, and I was like, hey, I don't think you need to wake up so early to clear off the thing, because I think it's doing it itself. I think it's getting warmer, and plus it was warmer at that night before in the morning. So I was like, it's warm, whatever, it might melt, so you don't have to wake up early. I was doing that for him because he usually doesn't go to bed early and he has to wake up early. So I'm like, just get your rest. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. But anyway, fast forward to that next day when I was taking out Jace. We were going to the car, and when we went to the car, I tried to open the door, and the door was frozen shut. So I'm like, oh fuck, like what am I supposed to do? Jace hated the snow, so every time I put him down, he kept trying to come back into my arms. So I'm like, I have to bring him, I need help, I can't do this by myself. I called John and I'm saying, hey, I need you, I need your help. Oh God, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want now? What is this? He was giving me all this attitude. I'm like, fucking forget it, whatever, I'll figure it out on my own. So I ended up bringing Jace back upstairs, told him to feed him milk, feed him some give him milk, give him some strawberries and stuff so he can eat, because it might take a while or whatever. So I said, just feed him, I'll be back. Oh, he's giving me attitude, all of this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, literally, I'll be back. So I went outside, took off all the snow off of my car, tried to melt it, finally chipped away out of the ice, opened one door, turned on my car, and let it melt more so I can brush off more and stuff like that. And I ended up going to I ended up calling him when I was finished, told him bring down Jace. Bring down Jace. He goes and he's like, oh, I'm doing something right now, and then hangs up on me. I'm like, bro, like, he's irritating my soul. And so I go and I call him back and I say, bring down Jace when you're finished with your stuff. And then he hung up on me again. I'm just like, oh my God. But luckily, like a couple minutes later, he brought down Jace. He goes and he's like, oh, maybe you should call the daycare because it's getting a little more serious. And I'm like, why are you talking to me? Get out of my face. Like, I don't give a shit. Don't talk to me. So anyway, I went to the daycare. I should have called, actually. That was true, but whatever. It worked out on its own. I went to the daycare, dropped him off, and I came back. And, I just didn't really want to talk to him or whatever. Throughout the day, I kept seeing him, texting someone on WhatsApp, and I'm like, you don't usually use WhatsApp, like, that's weird. So I ended up just being a little curious, like, what's going on, but whatever. I didn't think anything too much of it because we're in an open relationship. If he's talking to whatever, again, part of the rules is that we don't change our passwords or whatever. If the person wants to go through your phone, they can go through your phone. It's perfectly fine, but they can't say nothing about what they did seen, like if you're flirting with a girl or whatever. So I went and I kind of brushed it off. I'm like, oh, maybe he's just like trying to flirt or whatever. That's fine, good for him. We ended up later in the day, he ended up trying to talk to me. We tried to talk about it. I kept telling him that he was wrong because he escalated the shit by what he did in the bathroom. When I was in the bathroom and he would like talk and I can hear him, he goes, oh, I didn't know you were in the bathroom. I didn't know you could hear me. I was trying to say it to myself. I'm like, okay, if you did not know I could hear you the first time, why did you continue the second time? He's like, oh, I didn't know you were still there. Like, obviously you did. I was still in the bathroom. It was like a second. You didn't do whatever. So I said to him, I said, that's bullshit. Like, and he goes and gets mad. Oh, how you going to tell me my truth is bullshit and blah, blah, blah. I was trying to be honest. You said I'd be honest and all of this stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm done. He like yelled at me and then didn't want to talk or whatever. So later on, I ended up trying to talk again, and I said that I can't, like, I said, like, I hate when you do that. I hate when you always bring up that you are the parent, or you are the main parent, or whatever. The reason, like, I said no, like, you could have just explained, like, I could have just explained to you, and that's the reason why Jace was sleeping, was that because it was because we had a rough night. Like, I was exhausted. I've been up with him for like an hour for like every hour. So, like, the fuck are you doing, you know? And so I went and I was just like really upset. Hi. I went and I was like really upset because I was just like, I can't believe you like say these things all the time when we're mad. Like, when we're upset, you always say these things, and you always do that, and I don't understand why. Like, you always say that you're the parent, or blah 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 blah, whatever. So anyway, it didn't really go anywhere or anything, and so we ended up having to get gas for his car too, because his car can't move in the snow. His gas was like low, it was like on empty. And so I was like, let's just go to the gas station. He got a little canister thing to get gas for his car, and we did that. While he was getting that, I was like, let me see who he was texting, because, you know, I can look. We're a part of the open relationship or whatever. I look, and it's his coworker, Jennifer. I'm like, okay, why are you texting Jennifer through WhatsApp? So I went and I started looking through the conversation, but he was there. So I'm like, he was coming back. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look at it when he goes to bed at night. So I went and we did our thing, whatever. He started yelling at me again. And before I went to go outside and smoke, I was just like, I don't need you to yell at me anymore. I don't want you to do this to me I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to react anymore, because you're not listening to what I'm saying, and you're not taking what's your fault. Like, I didn't do anything wrong in that scenario, but I'm still the wrong, evil wife or whatever. Like, how you talk to me, how you treat me, that's not okay. But anyway, so I just stopped talking to him, and he's trying to talk to me. I'm like, I'm here to listen. If you want to, like, I don't have anything else to say. I said, let me just hold my tongue, because it doesn't get me anywhere. So I did that. So anyway, I went to smoke or whatever. I came back. He was knocked out. I took his phone, and I read through all the conversation with Jennifer. He goes and he tells Jennifer all of this stuff. I told him, like, you know, I thought Jennifer was cute. Like, you know, maybe you can sleep with her. Like, I won't be mad or whatever. So I keep gotta asking him that. I'm like, just do it a little, like, you know, slick. You'll be like, oh, you know, my wife said that you're cute. She would be fine, like, if we fucked. So I told him to say that to Jennifer or whatever. He kept saying, no, I didn't say that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, no, you're like chickening out or whatever. And so anyway, I go through the whole conversation. And from the beginning, he goes and lies to Jennifer and says, hey, you know, I'm on here because, you know, I'm talking to my cousin. So I said, let me try to text you on here. And she's like, oh, okay, whatever. I text people to the Caribbeans. They do WhatsApp or whatever. But anyway, so I go and I'm looking through all of it and stuff. I'm scrolling, find conversation. He ends up, like, you know, talking to her because she's having issues or whatever. And he ends up bringing up that he's in an open relationship, an open marriage. And he brings it up twice because she kind of ignores the first one. And then the second one, she's like, what? Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, maybe I should do that and stuff because Jennifer is married too. So she's like, maybe I should bring that up or whatever. They're having a conversation. Then I see this conversation and it gets me so tight. Oh my God, bro. This is going to be the last part. It's part 5. Stay tuned for that because this is where it's all leading up to, basically. So stay tuned for part 5, guys, okay? All right, bye.